Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have Adam and Josh from Good Vibe Entertainment.
Hey, how's it going?
What is up, guys? Randy, thanks for having us.
Everyone told me how much trouble you were, leaving a trail of broken hearts on the floor. And I knew when we first met that you would walk away, but there was something so tempting about dancing your flame. You started a fire and left me to burn. There's nothing left to say, you live and you learn. Just a cheap apology and a short goodbye. You're just a devil in disguise.
I just want to start out by asking you a couple fun questions. Okay. What was the first album you bought?
Ooh, I got this. My first album I bought was Green Day's American Idiot,
Nice.
and listened to
album.
it that day. Yeah, it was great. And then the next day, my mom tried to return
That's
it. She's like, "No,
great.
none of this." She she read the title track of Jesus Suburbia, and went, "No, none of that. We are a Christian household." And I was like, "Okay." And then the guy at the Walmart was like, "Yeah, we ain't taking this back." So me and my dad would listen to it in his car.
Mine was the Backstreet Boys album. I think it was called Millennial or
Oh.
something.
That's the one with
It was,
I Want It That Way, right?
yeah, that
Yes.
was my first album purchase. I want to say a Hot Topic in the mall, somewhere at the mall. So yeah.
Okay. First concert you attended?
Well, the first concert that I wanted to attend, obviously my parents would take me to concerts. No offense to them, but I didn't want to go to those ones. So the first concert that I wanted to go to, it was Fall Out Boy, All American Rejects, and then the openers were sick too, like Hawthorne Heights and Hello Goodbye.
Oh,
So it
what
was
a
a
tour.
hell of a good tour. And I actually went. I was supposed to just drop off my older brother with my mom and dad. And then I think I begged hard enough for they're like, fine, you can go. My older brother was like, I guess he can come. And yeah, it was great.
That is awesome. I love that tour. The first one, I really know is I didn't get to go to concerts till I was in high school. Really, my mom like, you came to Kenny Chesney with us. I was like, yeah, I don't remember that. But the first one I really know I went to, I saw Styx, REO Speedwagon, Ted Nugent.
Random.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
My parents liked them. They're like, yeah, we'll go. I was like, okay.
Good old parent shows.
Yeah, that was fun though. Styx rocks. So did REO Speedwagon.
Okay. How did you get involved with booking? Did you have experience, education? How did that happen?
No experience. I mean, the education came from just being in bands. I think, when Josh Hoffman and I started booking together, it was because we felt like there was a need for that in the scene. We were in a local band, but it was hard for us to get these shows at Mr. Smalls or the Craft House or all these other venues. And we were like, well, why don't we just book the shows ourselves and then we can have these shows? And in doing that, able to work with other local bands and just do something great for them. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that kind of comes up to just being in bands. I was always the guy booking shows for my bands, and it went from how do I find these shows to I met another guy, part of Good Vibe, David John. At I was the first show I played with this band. I joined Opals, and literally the next day was the pandemic. But then I kept in touch with David, and then we had the studio, and I came by, and and then I just began just booking shows, and it's literally just reaching out to people that I like to be like, you want to play a show? I got a spot for you. So it's been a big lot of Adam said, learning from experience, finding out what works and what doesn't work.
Okay. How did Good Vibe Entertainment form? Did you guys know each other before and say, hey, let's form this?
Well, Adam, how did you?
Yeah, so it's crazy to think it formed back in 2015 with just Josh and I. Hoffman, not this
Not me.
Josh. And we had, another partner, but he didn't last very long. Um, and yeah, we just, we formed it together, and somehow Josh knew Dave. Dave has always been a part of the scene running sound. And that was like the kind of missing piece. I was able to do the marketing. Josh was doing the booking, but we didn't have a sound guy. So when we met Dave, it was like the perfect threesome. And then eventually we ended up meeting Josh, Shane, Brenna, and Danny. Oh, Danny as well. Danny was there for the whole time as well. But then we built this team with them, and yeah, it's
I can't forget Nick Linder. He is all since
yeah,
joined the
and
team
then
as
in the
well.
past year we added Nick Linder, so like we just keep growing. And it's crazy to think, it was just two of us doing it at like an old abandoned school in Newcastle, and now finally, we're able to do shows at Mr. Smalls and some of these venues that we always wanted to do them at.
And now, like, yeah, we built up from like when I joined, it was just like basically local, and you said you had a couple spots in like Newcastle. Now if we go to like we have like multiple venues in Pittsburgh between like Mr. Roboto, Lawrenceville Distilling, Squirrel Hill Sports Bar, like Funhouse, 222 Ormsby. Like we just kind of just reached out, and like our big thing is like when we put on shows, we like we're people in bands, so we try to like help out like locals as well as like touring back acts. So like we know how it's like. So like honestly, like most of our shows are like, hey, we got a backline, and it's like real like professional equipment because it's like our gear.
Hey, our slogan is for artists by artists for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many different venues do you work out of?
Josh is counting.
Yeah, no,
It's a lot.
we have like our hands in a couple, but like, I think we primarily book out of like 3 or 4
Yeah.
that like we like our go-tos, and then we'll occasionally be able to like hit up another one and like we try to get into. So
So, I mean, obviously our home base is local 724. So most Good Vibe Entertainment shows are going to happen here, Beaver Falls, PA, at local 724 studio. When it's not here at local 724 studio, I mean, I guess Squirrel Hill Sports Bar, Lawrenceville Distillery, rest in peace. But yeah, most of our shows are going to be here at a home base in Beaver Falls.
and we're starting to book out Mr. Roboto as well now. So like we have a couple shows in the works that are going to be announced soon there. So like we're just like establishing ourselves more in the city as well.
Okay. And you book out of West Side Bowl too in Youngstown?
Yeah, in Youngstown, yeah. Great venue. Great pizza.
I love West Side.
Yeah, it's a really awesome venue. We've done like the downstairs a lot. And then I want to say Danny's band, he played a really sick show upstairs. It's just such a beautiful place. Like when you have the lights off and the lights going,
Oh, they have like really cool gear, and like
yeah, I love that
it's
place.
a whole vibe. And I just like the idea of like some people don't went there to bowl and then they get stuck with the show upstairs.
Yeah.
So
So these are like smaller venues, right?
yeah, I think the biggest venue we booked like out like Fest was I think an exception, but like they're like 200 or lower cap. So it's more like locals like a 50 cap room. Like we go like 50, 80 cap, like under 100 for the most part. And then bigger shows will go like a 140 cap room, like which is like what Mr. Smalls like the Funhouse is.
Yeah.
And
Smiley Moose.
yeah.
Okay. And you're also in charge of the Newcastle Music Festival. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was something. So this was actually our 5th year doing it. So it was our 5th annual. We did skip a year thanks to COVID, but we'll say it's the 5th annual. And really, the 3 founders like Josh, Danny, and I were from Newcastle. And it's just something where, we realize there's all this talent around, our town, this small town, but really nowhere for them to showcase their abilities. So we were like, let's just throw a freaking festival, put them all on a stage and have a great day. And, from having it at an abandoned school to, having it at one of the biggest parks in Newcastle, we've come a long way in these 5 years. And, the number one thing is we always say like community, I think the one of the meetings we said 90% community, 10% profit. Like that's what we're about. And I think it really showcases in the festival. It's just a great day for Newcastle, for the bands and stuff. And it's my pride and joy.
Yeah. Adam does an amazing job working on it. Like this past year, like I said, Adam said we skipped a year because I joined Good Vibe and did like 2 fests prior to the 5th one. and like we did like downscale a little bit. Like we went from like playing at the dance hall pavilion at Cascade Park to going outdoors and into like the train station stage. And honestly, I think it did better. We were able to have bands, constant music from what was it, noon to like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, noon to 8.
Like we had no change over time because we basically had two stages on one stage. So like once one band finished, the other one had a quick like, oh, your guitars are in the mix, good, go. And like we brought like we got rained in the morning, but like it honestly the day was beautiful and like we got like 300 plus people there, and it was like a wonderful. Everybody was hanging out, sitting on blankets, like enjoying the park, the day, and music, and like is a big like props to you, Adam. Like you really did like kill it.
It's not me, but thank you.
Well, you're the one here.
Thank you.
What's your plans for this year?
We talking Newcastle Fest wise, or just like good vibe plans in general?
All of it.
All of it.
Everything, Josh.
Okay.
Lay it out. Your 1 year plan.
My 1 year plan
for good vibe.
A lot of like what good vibe does, and I really I take the lead in is like we help like small artists, like DIY artists that are getting out of their like hometowns and looking for places to play. And like right now we are up to like 10 plus shows in our like calendar. We have 2 announced so far. We have 3 announced so far, and we're just keep it rolling. We're doing like at least like 4 to 5 shows a month, and I think the plan is to keep that going up till like I think Newcastle Music Fest is going to be in August. Date is not set yet, but that will probably have like maybe 1 show outside of Newcastle Fest then, like because like Newcastle Music Fest is all hands on deck for us. It is absolutely a lot of work, but it does pay off very well. But I think the goal is just to keep like making these connections between touring artists and like our local like Pittsburgh scene, where we're at the point now like where we bring in friends from like we have a band coming from Michigan like we're friends with, and they picked bands from Pittsburgh, like Main Street Detour went out to Michigan like earlier last year, and now the Motion Sick is coming back, and they're like, hey, can we play Main Street Detour? I'm like, absolutely, like they were my first choice for it. So we're just connecting all like these touring bands of artists from here, and they're able to like make these connections and go into like other cities. Like we have friends in Philly that like we trade shows back and forth. I think that's a big part of it is just connecting all these artists with each other. So like we could just, like you said, we're all about building a community. Like we're building a strong community here in Pittsburgh, but we're also building those connections to like other cities where Pittsburgh artists can go out there and perform and vice versa.
Yeah, and I think really like we were talking about before, like that scene here. You know, I think our goal this year is just keep growing that community here. Not that like we're responsible for growing it, but we want to be more a part of it, and be a part of that growth as much as we can. And by doing like, you know, we do a lot of smaller shows, but I think we have some plans in our back pocket to do some more bigger things like the Newcastle Music Festival, but maybe more Pittsburgh localized, you know, for the city. So we have some plans to grow the community more and maybe have some bigger shows for sure.
Okay. And who are some local bands that we should be on the lookout for?
Josh, hit them.
So big ones that you should definitely be look out for. Like I just mentioned, the Main Street Detour. They just released their debut album last year, Becoming Someone You Knew. They just played their release show last Saturday. It was packed. They're up on the rise. We got All My Friends Are Cats, Crash.Nebula, Mallory Run. They're fantastic. Old Neon, can't forget them. And we got our friends Cokeworks. Heading North is like on the rise, so they're gonna be a huge name. And like we got some like other artists that we also not outside of bands like Shell the Philosopher. He's a hip hop artist from Beaver. Very good, talented. Squeezy, Palms, spelt with like X's and M's and Z's. And like Who is Jay? My sister went to high school with him.
Okay.
And he's that's fun. We didn't talk about her, but like me and Adam are also in a band. Sunday Complex is cool. We just did a Blossom session, and like honestly, a lot of these artists I've been naming are either have been a part of Blossom sessions or are going to be a part of them. Blossom sessions are done by our friend Allie Gibson, who like runs Blossom Media, and like again, like you said, building community is a lot about that, and like she's helping just as much as like we are able to like just put names out there.
And I think what's cool too about that list of bands is we booked them all. I think everyone you said we booked.
Yeah,
So,
I think so. And,
pretty cool.
and if we haven't booked them yet, we're going to.
promise.
It's a goal.
How can we get a hold of you guys? Facebook, Instagram?
Instagram's probably your number one route. And if it's going good, we'll send you to our email.
Yeah, so like we are at Good Vibe Booking on Instagram, and we do have a Facebook page. But the best way is probably DMing us on Instagram, or you can reach out to like booking at goodvibebooking.com and that will come directly to all of us. If you want like extra info about like what we do, you can check out our website, goodvibebooking.com. It has a lot of this information and ways to get in touch with us.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you for having us.
Yeah, Randy, thanks for having us. What you're doing for the community is amazing. So we're happy to be a small part of it. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll always be here, man.
Yeah, seriously. And like I want to add, like, our first show for Good Vibe Show of the year is going to be here at Local 724 Studio in Beaver Falls on February 6th. We got Crash.Nebula and Not Worth Asking. They're the local Pittsburgh Beaver bands. We have coming on tour Panda House and Anti-Ghost. So that's going to be our first show here at the studio. And we also have another show at Squirrel Hill Sports Bar with Foo Bar. I don't know the rest of the band's top of my head.
There was something else about a panda in that one too, I think.
I feel like there is a panda in this band.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. So Foo Bar, Rocksteady, and Land of Panda. See, Adam had it. That show's on February 20th. Is a Thursday at Squirrel Hill Sports Bar. And the last show we have announced so far is here at Local 724 Studio. Again, it's Lost Henry is coming here on tour with Eye Candy, Dick Blood, and Unwanted Downfall. And that is on March 8th.
He's a walking advertisement. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Yep. Big bucks.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Randy.
you for having us. Have a great day.
Around and around. Everything has to change, and yet it all seems the same. It's just an